Hello everyone, my name's Burd and I'm here again today in Minecraft, but this time with something a little bit different. I'm here in Conquest Reforged, wow, I know right, Conquest, and I'm here to build something that's not mine. Now I am going to be creating something original, I'm not going to be rebuilding something, but I'm going to be building it for YouTuber Legendary Porpoise. Now, Legendary Porpoise is an amazing Conquest YouTuber building an amazing world for himself, and I'm a patron and a fan for quite some time now. And recently, Porp has accidentally corrupted his save file, so he's lost 1.5 years of progress, and he reached out to the community to ask them if they could, reach out and help and maybe rebuild a couple of structures from his world so that he can repopulate all the lost progress. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be here to make a little dwarf entrance with a little road leading up to it, a little front yard basically of a dwarf city in his world. Now, of course, I'm only going to be building the outside of it because I'm not going to be building the inside of a dwarf temple. So we're only going to be doing the outside, and I'm going to make a little square, like an area up front and a little staircase leading up to the entrance. Now, traditionally, dwarf entrances, of course, are big vertical rectangles with lots of arches, lots of, right angles and straight lines, but also some nice, really organic architecture within them, or organic looking art, I suppose, within those straight lines. So I'm gonna go for the same kind of color scheme that Porp used. So I'm gonna go with the limestone pillars, the serpentine green stone blocks, and the smooth basalt for black, and some golden painted pillars as well that you'll see later. This way I'm kind of able to capture Porp's own style. I'll link a couple videos throughout this one, and in the description as well, of course, of what Porp has already built, and then you can maybe compare that with what I've constructed and judge if that's kind of in the same area as what Porp was aiming for. So starting off with the little serpentine arches and making some smooth basalt vaults in them, and now these arches and vaults are something that I have to figure out a little bit again, because it's been some time since I've used these Conquest models. And of course there's a lot of, blocks and models to choose from, with all the, the layered slabs and staircases and vertical corners and that kind of stuff. But luckily I'm building this quite symmetrically, so I can just copy paste this around, as you'll probably see in the video right here. Yeah, so it's not too difficult once you get one of the corners down. Right. So, while you are looking at this screen, I want to talk about something that I don't talk a lot about in my own videos, and I regret that I don't, because it's a very fun part of, I think, Minecraft building, and in that sense also world building. I've gone ahead and I've called this place the Danachkisdin, which means Green Dwarf Place in Neo-Kuzdul. Now, Neo-Kuzdul is kind of a fan-made reconstruction, or further construction of Tolkien's Kuzdul language that he designed for his dwarves, and I use it for all the dwarf builds that I make. So this place is going to get called Danachkisdin, Green Dwarf Place, and I'll also be referring to it as the Green Delve, and I hope Porp does too. He doesn't have to. That's what I envisioned for this place. So I've also made up like a little bit of a prompt, so you can imagine what kind of things would be happening in this place. And I'll read it to you now. Danachkisdin, meaning Green Dwarf Place, is a dwarven city in decline. After multiple centuries of peaceful rule over the area, 2 princes threw the city into civil war. The war has been over for 70 years, but as dwarves have longer lifespans than humans, the horrors of this disaster are still fresh in the mind of many a dwarf. Even though some of the more outlying tunnels have been closed permanently, some are still under reconstruction. Trade with surrounding settlements is finally picking up again. Of all the trade products, the most valuable, even more so than gems and metals, are toys. crafted from the smoothest elven wood and the finest dwarven wrought metals and stone. These toys end up in the highest of palaces in the world. This way, the Green Delve is looking forward to reliving their glorious past once more, as they shall come again. So, that basically means that this place is somewhat in decline, right? The civil war has been here and some other political corruptness has been raging throughout this kingdom, but in essence, this is still a place of great craftsmanship and great produce, right? So the dwarves here are proud of their work, and they produce some, well, something to be proud of, at least. So these toys would be sold to everyone all over Elmorin, Porp's continent, or Porp's world. And, you know, the richest princes would have grown up using the toys from the Green Delve. Now here you can see that I've started to add some of those more organic looking arches and pillars in between, so what I always try to do with this dwarf stuff is to make the big shape, and inside of the big shape make smaller shapes, and that really makes it look big, right? So we have the 4 big pillars with the 3 big arches, but each of those columns in between those pillars gets their own little arches and little pillars. And that, I think, makes this entire build look bigger than it actually is. Now here I'm playing around with some of the nice textures that you get with Conquest, so using some of the Arabian or Moorish mosaics for the vertical bits. And I play around with some banners, but in the end I think that the actual designs in Conquest are prettier than what I can produce with banners. So going on with the theme of using the capitals to support the crossbeams on which are written Dwarven runes, and I imagine these runes to kind of be spells, right? Dwarven spells or phrases to protect the gate from outsiders. Then we reach the top. Since we're reaching, you know, the top of the mountain, this cannot be carved out of the stone. So I want to, you know, kind of stick to Porp style, so there's got to be some circular stuff in here as well. So on top we're gonna fix a circular kind of rim with a domed roof on top of that. And, well, you'll see how it packs out in the end. So I have to cut a little bit more out of the mountain by hand, which is fine, you know. And then I start building the rim around it, and I was kind of struggling with this, because it's been long since I've used Conquest, and I kind of had to make up a way to make the rim not too clunky, not too big, but also not too small, because I did want it to have a rim. Eventually I found the right size, so I start building up the dome. And it looks nice from on top, it looks nice from on the bottom, so that's good enough for me, I'd say. Sometimes, or well, usually, creative builders forget to check how their build looks from the ground, because normal people would walk underneath it, while we are able to fly above it. But anyways, adding some little gold touches to, you know, I use the same color scheme as Porp uses: gold, green, grey and black are kind of the colors of the dwarves. And closing up the ceilings so we get a consistent lighting inside, and adding some lights, and then we are just about ready to look at the end result. So there we go, hidden inside the mountain. We have the entrance to the Green Delve. Now, I've already sent this to Porp, and he's pasted it at the end of one of his live streams, and his reaction was priceless. I think he likes it. Now I'm gonna be working further with this. I'm gonna make the entrance complete, and you'll see that in the second episode. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll be signing off. So, yeah. Goodbye.